Instead of playing E7 like this, try this. So here are some must-have tools to add movement over your dominant chords. First of all, try to learn as many dominant chords as you can on the top 4 strings. If we're playing over E7, start by learning these chords. Now you can also try to add some variations to these chords. For example, E7 here, root position. If I bring my pinky half step up, E7 sus4. If I take my pinky away and I bar with my first finger, E7 sus2. Now next shape, I have the third on the bass, right? That 7th fret of that D string. If I go a half step up with my middle finger, E7 sus4. Now for this E7 chord, again on the top 4 strings, I can stay in position and go to an E9 chord here. I can also put my pinky in the 9th fret of the highest string and go to an E13. For the last chord, I have an E9 here, right? With the flat 7 on the bass and the root on the melody. If I bring my first finger half step up, I have an E9 sus4. Now the next thing you want to do is try to find that relative major key of the chord that you're playing over. In this case, E7 is going to be the 5th chord in the key of A. So once you have the major key, what you want to do is harmonize this scale using simple major and minor triads. And of course the diminished triad for the 7th chord, right? So we're in the key of A. Here's an example on strings 2, 3, and 4. Now you have probably heard me say this before, but once you have those triads harmonized all over the fretboard, what you can do is bring those shapes to the chord that you're playing over. This is a nice way to create movement using simple major and minor triad shapes. So this guitar part that I built is mainly around these concepts. I'm using dominant chords on the top 4 strings and I'm borrowing 2 minor triads from the key of A major and playing them over E7. So let's go back to my musical example and try to understand this guitar part. So I'm going to start by playing this E7 shell voice in strings 3, 4, and 5. Root, 3rd, flat 7. Now from here I'm going to borrow 2 minor triads from the key of A, B minor, that is the 2 chord, and C sharp minor, that is the 3 chord. Now if you think about it, E7 is a 4-note chord, right? And the major scale of any mode inside the major scale has 7 notes. So what I'm trying to do is bring those 3 notes to add movement and color to our voicings. So if I play B minor, that is the 2 chord, over E, I'm actually going to have 2 common tones with E7. I'm going to have the flat 7 and the 5th, but I'm bringing the 9th here, right? So I'm actually adding now 1 more note to our 4-note chord. And if I play C sharp minor, that is the 3 chord, over E, I'm going to have 2 common tones again with E7. I have the root and the major 3rd, but I'm going to bring that 6 or 13. So now my chord has 6 notes. This means that anytime I play an E7, again a 4-note chord, and I bring that B minor and C sharp minor, I'm actually adding 2 more notes. So this means that I have now the 9th and the 13th inside my sound. So if I go back to my musical example, I'm going to start with this E7 shell voicing, and then I'm going to go to this B minor, strings 2, 3, and 4 first inversion. That's the 2 chord. I'm going to slide a whole step up to the 3 chord, back to the 2 chord. Remember, we're playing over B, so by playing those 2 triads, we're bringing the 9th and the 13th. And from here, I'm going to go to this voicing, strings 2, 3, and 4, E7. I got the 5th, the flat 7, and that 11 or 4. From this chord, E7 sus4, half step down to E7, again, strings 2, 3, and 4. This is a diminished triad here. I have a G sharp diminished, right? That's the 7th chord. But again, if I put my bass on the 5 chord, E7. And then from here, I'm going to go to this voicing, E7, again, top 4 strings. I got the 3rd, flat 7, the root, 5th. And then I'm going to play a single note line like this. So that part sounds like this. Now for the second repetition, I'm going to start exactly the same. E7 shell voicing. From here I'm going to go to this B minor, strings 2, 3, and 4, whole step up to the 3 chord, C sharp minor, back to B minor, but here I'm going to change of inversion. I'm going to go to the top 3 strings. I'm going to go to C sharp minor, right? Second inversion, down to B minor, second inversion. Again, over E, I'm bringing the 9th and the 13th. So that's going to sound like this. And then from here again, those voices on the top 4 strings. I got E9, and then I'm going to go to this E7. That part sounds like this. Now if I put all that together, at the end I have this.